Welcome to Kent, everybody. For those of you across the pond, you'll know the time doesn't line up for this to be Kent, England. It's the sister city in Washington State. And you get an idea of why we were named thusly. Beautiful foggy morning. That mist in the air makes everything feel colder than it actually is. We're not yet freezing, and yet my hands seem to be lying to me, saying otherwise. Bring you into the Smithy with me. As we get ready to make yet another leaf keychain. I've got the axe there and the hatchet there in the vise, so that I could split some wood for the fire. Easiest way to do it is to put the piece of wood above the hatchet, not me wing the hatchet down, and then just smack the wood with a hammer. And I got that idea because Facebook ads showed me a device for doing just that, and I was like, well, what the heck, I'll give it a try. Man, does it work. Let me get in front of the camera instead of behind it and welcome you to my neighborhood, a la Mr. Rogers, while I put on my gear. The fire is already hot. With it being moist out here this morning, I figured that's what I needed to do is get that working first. There we go. That feels better. All right. You see a few little changes in everything up there, just to freshen the look. Got a new camera that hopefully will make the fire not look so grainy. And I've already got that piece of steel that I worked on last week in the fire, getting ready for me to do the little cleanup, dress up of the bevel, that I put on there before, the taper that I put on there before, when I was finishing off the last key chain, and we'll get ready to make the next one. My goal is that as time goes on, I'll get faster at this, and I'll have more time to put towards my project for my mother. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Get that out of the way. Don't need that. All right, let's get going. As you can see, we'll just dress this taper here. It's a little bit long. I think I'm going to cut it off a little bit, just so I can have a shorter taper. There we go. Got a nice sharp edge on my practically new anvil here. And now you know, being that tiny piece of metal just went flying, why we say that the first rule of blacksmithing is all metal is hot. Somebody come along and see a piece of metal on the floor and go to pick it up. If there's a fire in the forge, assume that metal is hot. I learned that really the hard way back when I was a kid. After school job I had was at a fertilizer plant. They used to modify the spreader arms all the time on those. The spreaders are those beasts out in the field actually putting the fertilizer down. And they would always modify those to suit the row, width of the rows and so forth. And my job was a real simple job. It was clean the shop. And I got out there in the shop and I'm cleaning and I'm picking up scrap metal, and suddenly I'm dropping a piece of scrap metal about as fast as I picked it up. Lost a layer of skin, had to wrap it all up. I was really fortunate. I picked it up with my offhand, my left hand in this case. So it didn't prevent me from, doing schoolwork or anything else that I normally would be doing, but it definitely did not feel good, and I learned that lesson fast. All metal is hot. All right, let's go over here. Let's set down where we're going to have the back of the leaf. Oh yeah, that's right. I like to do that on this side instead of that. Okay, there we go. We'll come back to this side and we'll start creating the stem. I decided I would get this fire started as soon as I walk out into the smithy, and then get cameras everywhere they need to be, set up the computer and power source. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a new camera now right here. Get you a better view into the forge. You can see the fire. Pretty much a straight shot now down into there, instead of using the 720p camera zoomed in using a piece of software. Cool off the leaf itself. Need to put it further into the fire. Like I said, everything's a little cold out here, so do quick heats and then we'll bring it out. Quick heats and then quick work, the quick heats. One of the nice things about working with small stuff is it heats up fast, and I've got a nice hot fire going already. You can see the breath. Clean off all the forge scale. There we go. Get it down closer to where the main heat of this is. You can see I've also stacked some wood in there to start drying it out and turning it into charcoal. And I've got some more split in my charcoal bucket. Yeah, there we go. on, half off blows to use that nice fullered edge that Albert puts on the anvils that he sells. Straighten everything out, back into the fire. Get those pixies angry at me? Yeah, it's warming up good. Curious as to what my temperature is this morning in there. I see a good color. Let's pull out until I see cross. All right. Looks like we're getting about 1600 degrees this morning. Into the black a little bit here, just because it's such small stuff that you can still kind of move the metal a bit while it's in the black, but I don't want to do that too much. My wood's cooking. I can see charcoal there. There are all the pixies. You got to make room for them to fly out every now and then. And for anybody curious, I'm just working with mild steel here, which means if I quench it, I'm probably not causing any real harm. Try to keep everything nice and square. Okay. All right. We've got about another 1/4 inch to draw down, so that it comes full across, which makes about the right size, right length for making a loop. And then we'll round it. Go ahead and lower this. Sits a little bit closer. Quench that leaf off. I don't need to move it yet. Looks like a bunch of my coals got pushed back because I don't have the retaining wall in, because I'm going to do bigger work later. But not too much later today. Pretty sure I'm going to be able to get in sooner this time. Not dilly-dallying on this leaf too much this time. Pretty sure I know exactly the steps I need to take these days. So now it's just a matter of just do it. Any Shia LaBeouf fans out there? That, and I think I will switch to the anvil focus so you can look at that a little more here for a little bit. Come on, stick with me. Now I'm getting a twist. Push it back. All right. Looks like I need to put it a little deeper into the fire. Don't let the wood run away on me. Otherwise it's not going to make much in the way of charcoal. There we go. That's where I needed the heat. All right. And now we're pretty close. Pretty close. Nice straight piece. Add a little bit. Taper just a little bit more. Now we got plenty, probably too much. Okay. We'll go ahead and finish that taper off on this end. But first, we're going to round it. And we'll make the leaf. Then we'll finish off the taper. Hopefully not twisting while I do that. Might have gotten it too thin right at the base of the leaf. We'll only find out when the leaf falls off. Very thin there. We'll find out. Make it look more or less round rather than cornered or faceted. And doing it in the black is actually not bad because you're not trying to draw metal in any specific direction. You're just trying to make it look, basically push the metal back into itself a little bit. And you don't need as much heat for that. Okay. I did actually make that quite thin. Well, let's warm it up and see if it comes off when I try to turn it into a leaf. That is very, very warm in there this time. All right. We'll go with it there. I'm not sure it is going to pull off leaf in anybody's vision this time. But it did not break off yet. We'll go with it. Warm it back up. See if I can get in here and give it some bends. Okay, that did bend, good. You can see now it has up edges. And now we'll see if I can get a tip to bend where I want it to. There we go. That definitely looks like a leaf. Now let's see if we can turn it into a keychain without it breaking off. Give it a little. Hi, Bruce. Yeah, there we go. People can see you're here. Bruce is my shop monitor. I don't think he's going to really tell me if there's any OSHA violations going on here, but he will let me know if a squirrel wanders by. All right. Let's get this in there. What do I need to do next? I need to get to the base of this. Let's cool this off. Let's get to the base of it. Do that reverse taper to get it off the rod. Make sure I'm not heating up the area I don't want heated. I'm giving it a little more heat where I don't want it. Let's move it up. There we go. Time to add some more wood to start that charcoaling. Many thanks to my neighbor Luis for bringing me over these offcuts. There we go. Nice and warm where I want it. Should. Oh my goodness, am I actually getting the... Am I learning something here? Ah, I need to adjust those. I actually got the sort of the Alex Steele curly at the end there. I'm pretty pleased with that. It can be done better for sure, but I now know that it has something to do with cooling it off. I'm gonna have to watch this video again, and I mean letting it cool to black before I give it the twists. Get it nice and thin and then start the twists. All right, done with that piece of steel. Let's go ahead and get it back in the fire and turn it into a ring. And this is where it gets tricky because I just need another set of tongs. Keep the leaf itself out of the fire. The flames you see coming out aren't the flames that are causing the heat that I need. They're just excess air burning off fuel above, which is useful for baking the wood. The heat I need is actually caused by the coals down low that with this extra air get really, really hot. But the process of making charcoal is a baking process. So it doesn't hurt to have that going on. All right, here we go. Ooh. That was a little warm. Working out good. Now, something I realized only after talking to my wife, I shouldn't say realized, she was the smart one and actually told me the answer I didn't realize at the time, is that this key ring actually has to still have a another ring attached to it. So having the ring turned the same direction as the keys lay, it doesn't work because the keys don't lay on this key ring. So yeah, she's the smart one of the house of the family. So hey, beautiful. Oh, I don't remember that outfit. I gotta turn it around just so everybody can see it. That's a good one. You going hunting and gathering? All right. Have fun. I love you too. Oh. Get the piece down where I want it. Try not to lose it in the fire. There we go. Bring her back out of the fire without messing up my loops. There we go. And lose all my heat because I dropped it in the process. Get to put it back in the fire again. There we go. Good, good, good. Now, can I get it to hold still while I bend it around? Yes, I can. Yeah. Maybe what I need to work on next is just another pair of tongs. There we go. So one of the things to note is I'm not trying to make it horn shaped. The horn is there to guide the metal based on my pulling and pushing as I work this. Let's see if I can get that spot hotter. Cool off the rest so it doesn't want to bend in opposite directions. Okay. Don't have any fuel there where it's trying to warm it up, so let's give it some fuel. There we go. Cool off the part I don't want to bend. See if I can actually make the part I do want to bend go where I want it to before it gets too cold. There. It's about right. You can see here, it's just not quite the circle that I want it to be. And so that's what I'm finagling with at this point. Being picky about my work because I want to get it better. Cool, that flat spot's not there. Oh, opened it wide up, didn't I? I pulled when I should have pushed. There we go. That's more like it. The horn is a wondrous part of the anvil that doesn't get much visibility because everybody sees everybody striking hard on the face of the anvil. But there you have it. Now we got something that looks round, and I'm happy with that. That I think I'm going to call done. Give her a brush off. I'm going to cool it off first though, and the reason for that is if I start brushing on it while it's warm, there's a good chance I'll deform everything. Give it a brushing, then I'll warm it back up again, just enough so that I can put some wax on it. Ah, I don't have a battery there. Let me see if I have a battery in the storage area. I do. Just forgot that I had yanked that because it was dim out here due to the fog, and so I needed a light. Sun is finally peeking through, so let's see. I'm sure that's great in all of your, I guess, ears, but honestly, there just is no better way to no better way. I could sit there and brush it with the block brush, which is good, but once you start getting into the little nooks and crannies of things, block brush just doesn't do very well. So let's warm it up, and all I have to do for that is lay it on the coals. You can pause for beverage. Nothing special today. Well, actually, it's kind of special. We found these, believe it or not, at a Comic-Con, the Emerald City Comic-Con here. They're called Sparkling Botanicals by Rishi. I like them. I'm not a big tea drinker, but that's what these are tea in sparkling water. This one being a turmeric saffron, and it's refreshing, it's delicious, and I'm not a paid sponsor, so got to say something. Grab the wax. Yep. Try not to breathe the wax. It's not the worst thing in the world when you're smelling scents from a candle that's riding on beeswax oftentimes, but coating your lungs in any kind of anything other than oxygen is probably not good for you. Okay. Therefore, you don't see me smoking things, and I don't recommend it. Sad to say, I know a lot of Smiths out there who are smokers. I wish they weren't. My mother passed away from COVID, but it was going to be an inevitability because of the COPD she had from smoking all her life. So that is a done key ring. How fast did I get that done this time? Look at that, 45 minutes. I'm happy with that. I'll get faster. Hopefully, the goal for me is to get it done in 20 minutes. I don't know if that's a reasonable goal, but it sounds reasonable. So I'm going to pretend it is reasonable and go for it. And then if I reach that, I'll try to bring it down to 15 minutes. All right. Let us use the next hour to see if we can make more progress in this. Or should I? Let me just think about that for a minute. I really need another set of tongs. Hello, train. I think I'm going to try my hand at creating another set of flat jaw tongs to replace the broken set I have here. You know what? I'm going to put it off. And instead, I'm going to see if I can weld that. I don't hold much hope. The material seems rather porous, but if I can do it, I'll do it. That'll be a project for tomorrow. My welder's son will be coming over, so why not? And then working with the key rings should be easier. So let's put that back. Let's get rid of some more ribbing. Which means let's get rid of this first. Don't need a tool rack there. I don't think I need my other tool rack yet. And as I work on getting this heated up. You know what? I think I will open the port though to get a longer forge going. Got a good amount of wood in there. Let's open it up to 4. Let's see what we get to warm up with that. Let's pull some of the wood back that I moved just now. I'll do that with my little rake here in a second. My makeshift rake that I need to turn into a better one. Actually might take advantage of the fact that I have some charcoal sitting here. There's that. And that. Let's go ahead and stack some more wood in there. It's been charcoaling up pretty good. Start baking some of that. I'm going to switch angles here. I'll let you, because this one isn't really all that exciting to see. Being what it is, that there's not much happening on the face of the anvil. I'll pull you back in there in a little bit if I need to. But what I want to show you is the efficient use of very little space. Bring you over here. And you can see that my piece is sticking out, and I've got about 7 inches clearance, maybe 8, before I hit the back wall. As such, I may find I have to open up another set of doors and turn the forge a little bit to make this work, but we'll see. Let's see if we can get her nice and hot in there, though. You can see I stacked up a lot of wood in there. Let's see if I can get you a little closer just for fun. I get in my metal? It's warming it up. Use it to clear some space in there. Oop. There we go. And let's pick back up the camera I knocked down. I have to come up with a better stand solution here. There we go. Let's see what we can do with that. Getting there. It would do better, I think, if there are actually holes in there. All right. Keep at it. For what it's worth, those gloves are not inflammable. They would burn. I've had them melt, but they are protective. So I can touch hot stuff as long as I'm not putting it in a fire. Oh yeah, now we're starting to see the color I'm looking for. Okay. So it's just a cold piece of metal. Need a little prompting. And just for kicks, because I think there's a chance I could actually slip, I'm going to go ahead and put on a hot glove for holding it. Thank you, love. Yeah, I checked all the different links myself. I saw Facebook, YouTube, both Twitter, and what else? There was one more. Oh, Twitch. Yeah, Twitch. But I appreciate you checking that for me. Getting second validations. All right, this is where it gets tricky. This is long enough now to start getting into my camera. Looks like I heated up the same spot last time. I've already gotten rid of the ribs in that spot. Yep, there's my camera. All right. Now my courtesy bend is being courteous. All right. The heat coming off of this is good. I want to go to my heavier hammer. Push that coal back in. Get under it. There goes my camera again. Sorry guys. I'm going to pull all that back. Yep, there it was. I felt that heat, which means I got too close to the hot stuff. All right. People just don't know. They see people forging and they don't understand the physics that are involved in trying to get things where they need to go. It's a challenge. That's not going to work. All right, but that will. And it's not that. It is simply the shape of the forge itself. Now I got to pull all that wood back. You'll see here in a second what I mean. Getting that piece into the forge pushed all of the fuel to the far end, which of course is away from where I need it. There we go. All of that back this way. Fortunately, I didn't push any of it out the back. This is a shortcoming of using the wood. Now I've seen that. I'll have to see what I can do. The answer is probably just put some charcoal in there for a little bit. All right. There we go. Let's get some angry pixies going. You see a lot of smoke, and that's because the new wood is starting to bake. I'm sure that when my brother asked me to do this, he didn't know what kind of challenges I'd be facing getting it all done. Seems like a very simple project to do, right? Make a shepherd's hook. But getting the material and realizing the length of material required to pull off the job, and I'm trying to do it without welding because I want to actually do it as a blacksmith project. Yeah, they present their own challenges. So as my wife was noting, I stream about everywhere that I can think of as a good place that to share this. So if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, or you've decided to start following my my blacksmithing page, you can stream on Facebook. You can see my stream on Facebook. You can see me on YouTube, where I hope to take these long forms streams and edit them down into you know, into pieces that show a singular piece of work being done from start to finish. I have some work to do to play with how to enable recording of each individual camera, and that way when I'm switching scenes for the purposes of the stream, it doesn't affect what's getting recorded. So that way I get a good image quality no matter which place, no matter what's on the screen. Each of those various things that are on the screen get saved as separate files. So then I can post those back up onto YouTube. Then there's the fact that there's also the fact that I'm on Twitch. I figured, why not? I know it's mostly for gamers, but every now and then, somebody might just get bored of watching a game and instead want to switch over to something else. I doubt it, but I'm there and it was easy to do. And then I realized yesterday that I could live stream on Twitter, and I have 2 Twitter accounts. The one that you see on the screen, which is where I talk about everything to do with software development and technology. And then my other one, which is, you'll have to look for it yourself, but it's definitely a more political bent. And I figured I'll keep those 2 personas separate, just so that my employer, whoever that may be at the time, won't be concerned that they're, hiring somebody that doesn't align with their political views. Because that doesn't play into what it is I can actually do as an employee. And besides which, whether your political views are anywhere on the spectrum, for me, I'm not going to work any place that doesn't accept people for who they are, and welcome a diverse group of people, thoughts, backgrounds, so that they can benefit from that. That no matter what your political bent, there's a reason why it appears as if companies are more liberal than they may actually be. And it's because they actually get value of having that diversity of thought. And so that gives you some insight as to where I am on that other channel, but I'm streaming there as well. Join me from wherever you think is best for you. And the chat channel is open to all of those places, so you can interact with the stream, no matter which of those you join me from. And if you've got a suggestion for another place where I should be sharing my stream, let me know. I'm happy to investigate how hard it would be to add another destination. Honestly, because of the tool I use, I only send out one stream and then it sends it out to all the other places, and it works out great for me. Again, I'm not being sponsored by them, so I'm not just right out saying who they are. But if you're curious, I'm happy to share. I don't like to hide anything about what I'm doing, because frankly, if I'm doing something, I figured it out probably because of other people who shared how they figured it out, and I'm gonna, pay it forward. I firmly believe nobody is a success all on their own. And the biggest mistake anybody can make is claiming success as if it is all on their own. It's hard to stay successful doing that, because those people that supported you getting that level of success you're now claiming won't want to stick around to see what comes next, unless they also, achieve some level of success, right? Get rewarded for making it possible for you to be where you are. The only time that that's not true is in a system that basically forces you to participate in it. And so you silently accept things you wouldn't want to accept if you weren't being forced to do so. Can't imagine what kind of system that would be, though. All right. I forgot to grab the other hammer, and that cooled off way faster than I hoped it would. For all of the effort that I went through. First off, yeah, make sure I'm getting the right spot hot to begin with. Ah, I see. It's appearing hotter in the forge than it is at the anvil. There we go. And that's not a surprise. That happens. And if I'm going to keep knocking this camera off, I better find a better place for it. I am tempted to get cameras that I can actually, adjust the lens on. One of the things that I don't care for at the moment is that I can't adjust the lens on this one. It was an inexpensive camera to get, so that's what I did. I'm just going to play with some things here just to see if maybe I'm using the camera in the wrong spot and I need to swap for another camera. There we go. How close would I need to get for that camera to actually look good? Let's do it from this side. Actually, that works pretty well. I might swap this camera for the GoPro. Have to get an extension for that to work, and then I can position the GoPro somewhere else. I might have to get another tripod too. But the GoPro does have zoom features, whereas this one doesn't, so that might be a better thing to do. Okay, enough talking to myself. You find people. Should you actually be out there? Didn't come to see the sausage being made. Actually, you did, didn't you? I haven't been hiding the fact that this is a work in progress of making it so I can share this fun art of blacksmithing with a wider audience from the point of view of a novice. Both at video production and at blacksmithing, so that you too can feel like you could do it. I can't claim the Bob Ross of blacksmithing, but that is the concept I'm going for, is a peaceful stream that you can come out and see the art being applied and feel like it's approachable for you too. Good, good. I am going to go ahead and throw some charcoal on top. Oh my goodness, that's a neat piece. I'll show you. Whole thick branch. Go down here, and while I'm thinking about it, first break that into a couple of pieces. There we go. Because it doesn't do much good, unfortunately, to me in that form. And then we'll swap out for the hammer I actually wanted to use, thanks to its weight. Now that I've broken that up, we'll throw some of those on top. Because as Roy says, if you can see the steel, then it's basically just seeing open air and probably not getting the heat you're looking for. Angry pixies. How much more time do I have with you guys? Oh good, I got about 40 minutes I can hang out. I don't know if you can see, but we're getting a good heat now underneath those coals. Let me go ahead and course, I'm going to come out of there and knock the camera off here in a second. Be prepared. Add some heat this time. Hey, I made it out without doing that. Good. And now, the part I wanted hot is hot. All right. Good. Not exciting blacksmithing, considering I'm just knocking off all the ribs. That make rebar look like rebar for the purposes of like holding concrete, I believe. Now, where do I need to take it? I need to go all the way there. There we go. Pull back my coals. All the coals where I need them. Let's get them white hot. Big surprise, didn't knock down the camera. We're doing good. Throw a little more charcoal on top. Smaller stuff this time. There we go. This being a lot thicker than the stuff I was working with earlier this morning. Takes a lot longer to heat up to the temperature that's useful. I can see that it's heating up. That's why I stop and look. And the camera definitely, probably because I'm in the picture, makes the fire look a lot hotter than it is. This is a very common problem with these cameras I've seen on most blacksmithing videos. There we go. Look at that. Nice heat. Try not to knock off the camera again. Come around here. Okay. I see a little bit right here. I'm going to pull you into the anvil here. Yep. I don't know if you can see it. There's a bit right here that's still ribbed. I'm just doing a visual inspection along the way. So I'm going to try to heat that area up, push that in. We've gotten all the way up to here. I really don't need to go, well, yeah I do. But I'm going to have to do another courtesy bend to be able to pull it off. And this time I think the bend's going to have to come from the other end. And then I can straighten this end back out. Because it's getting hard to get into here because this part's in the way. It's being a discourteous bend. And as a result, getting in here to take these out is getting harder and harder. Okay. But first, let's take care of this. I'm going to do a visual inspection on the rest. I think I see a little bit right here I can clean up. The rest of it looks pretty clean already. Definitely a spot here, a spot here. Let's get that cleaned up. Not hot enough to burn, but it was hot enough to let me know I was getting too close. So let's find that spot again. It's there. Right there. All right. Now that's not going to be in the fire. I guess I'm going to have to hold it here. Let's get the rake. So one of the ways I'm trying to make this approachable is I don't have all the tools yet. I have to make my tools. Which means if I can make my tools, you can make your tools. And yeah, this rake is not, you know, a serious blacksmith's rake. I will make that, you know, but Really, all you needed was some flat bar, bend over the end, now you have a rake. So, can it be made better? Absolutely. Is this material expensive? Nope. This big old long piece of rebar was like 10 bucks. So you could go for quite some time just playing with a piece of rebar. All the steel you see me playing with has been obtained from one of the home improvement stores, or farm supply stores, because both oftentimes carry some amount of steel as well as aluminum, but I'm not working in aluminum. The rebar came from a home supply store, obviously. What else? The hammer that I'm playing with over there, it's heavy. I would not recommend it unless you're looking for either tennis elbow or pretty strong already with the hammer. However, it is nicely rounded, has a nice straight peen on it, has a really great weight for moving, big metal, and it's a Fisker. The handle is actually quite comfortable in the hand, and you can buy it anywhere. I think I ordered it on Amazon. You don't have to have a specific blacksmith's hammer. Tongs. I have bought 2 tongs because I wanted to. I have made a pair of tongs from a set of tong blanks for holding the railroad spikes. Very easy process to do, and not an expensive way to go. And then I have made a couple of pairs of tongs. There are plenty of videos out there on how to do that. And I'll be making another one in front of you possibly here soon. They're not the best tongs. They're not, what you would buy off the store, but they work. And I literally made them with 2 railroad spikes. Railroad spikes can be obtained fairly inexpensively. I think I got like 50 of them for 50 bucks on eBay. Do not, and I'll repeat that, do not go picking up railroad spikes along the railroad tracks. In most places, that is illegal. Furthermore, in the U.S., it's a federal offense because the railroads are owned in some part by the federal government. So do not go along picking up railroad spikes, without express permission from, the train yard you're doing it at. What else? You can see I'm working with charcoal and scrap wood for my fuel. I've already mentioned in the previous video that it's easy to make a forge. This is, a step up from that easy make, but you literally just create a box of dirt. If you want to have the functionality I have, where I'm actually cooking my wood into charcoal, you make the sides of the area you're going to forge in angled, a V basically, and then you can feed your wood from the top, and it slides down into the fire as it becomes charcoal. Blower, I mean, there's so many ways to pull off a blower, but you probably easiest thing would be, as I've mentioned, especially if you've got electricity out at your forge, which I don't, except by the huge power bank I have sitting over there, is a hairdryer. Go to your Goodwill. You'll be able to get a hairdryer pretty inexpensively. Run it without the heat mode. That's it. And as far as an anvil is concerned, there is a fellow I follow on YouTube. He's called Primitive Technologies, I think. I think that's what it is. He's incredible. He takes away all of your reservations as far as reasons you can't blacksmith. By basically his anvil is a boulder. Okay, a really big rock. You know, do I think that's the best way to go? No. But will it work? Absolutely. He's made some incredible things. He's made all of his own tools, chisels, shovels, you know, knives, you know, incredible amount of things he's made, you know, beyond all the other bushcraft stuff he's done. So, you know, there's no good excuse out there. You can find chunks of steel, you know, at scrap yards, and they're by the pound. You don't have to pay the extremely high price I did, and I'd say that not trying to take away anything from Alec, but it's an expensive piece of hardware. It is an expensive tool, and it is a tool. The reason I can get away with not necessarily hitting every side of this bar to get rid of the ribs is because of that anvil. Because every time I strike with the hammer, the anvil basically strikes back from the other side. And you know, it's what they refer to as rebound. And you know, the more rebound you can get off of an anvil, the better. And so it costs a lot of money. But do you need to spend that money? No. This one over here, a little 75-pound Trenton anvil, cost me about 1/10 of what that one did. And it worked for me just fine for quite some time. It would have probably worked for me even better if I put some serious mass underneath it and then attached it more firmly to that mass. This, I didn't have to work so hard to get that functionality. So, point is, I want you to feel like this is something you can do. And you don't have to go out and spend money on a propane forge. That can be finicky. That can literally blow up if you're not doing things right. You know, if you've got a barbecue pit and you're allowed to have a barbecue pit, then you're allowed to have a forge. It's that simple, because it's literally the same thing, except you're forcing air through it so that it gets hotter. It takes up the same amount of space. It puts out the same kind of smoke if you're doing charcoal grilling. You know, so just give it a thought. This is something you too can do. Not liking how the front port here is clogged up, I believe, so let's give it a little rake. Get that warm, that heat going. There we go. Thanks, Jared. I've been working at it. I was just realizing that the camera that I have currently there might work better as a camera for facing the anvil, and then I can have the GoPro in its place but further away, because GoPro has zoom. Whereas the camera that's currently facing the forge, I can't impact its zoom level at all, unless I use another tool. And even if I do that, then I lose the quality, because that tool was what I was using on the Max camera pointing at it. And come to find out, the tool is limited to 720p when I would like to have at least a 1080, so that when I actually go to recording, I start recording in 1080p for every one of my sources. All right. There we go. There's some ribs to get rid of. Easy peasy. All right, now let's work on that little section. All I'm doing here is working on getting it to be a little bit more straightened out. And then when I get over here, I'll do the same thing because I got a kink in there. But the kink's going to help me find where I need to put it this time. There we go. Well, let's go ahead and use that for a minute, because my rake got out of reach. All right. Now, let's put her back in there again. There's what I need. Put my coals back over here again. Bury it. Let's get her fired up. Got about 10 more minutes. Let's pull some of these coals where I want them. There we go. Hey Greg, how's the Scottish festival? Do we have a blacksmith there this year? Go this way this time. Where is it? I know I saw it. Well, let's straighten things up a little bit anyway. All right, getting straighter. Do I have any spots I need to take out? I don't think so. Oh, right there. Right there. Have to catch it with the light, and then I can see where it is. Gotta love that ring, huh? If it's not deafening you, you're lucky. The good news is I should be able to do something about that. It's not a bad ring though. It's not as loud as some I've had, including this little one here. All right. So we've got a slight curve, and we got a slight bend that way. Nope, not gonna move it that way. All I'm gonna do is take out chunks of dirt. Okay. This is about the time where I start running low on coals. And that's just all right. There we go. Stir up those pixies. I don't think we're going to get the heat that I need now. We'll see. And I don't want to add more coals at this point. I must have knocked it when I came over this way. There we go. Yeah, I don't think it's happening. Well, now we're getting it. There's heat. I just gotta make it a little, it's there. Maybe I'll put just a little more coal on there just so I can finish this one time. There we go. That did the trick. All right, bring it over this way. Take out a few more ribs. You can see it smoothed out that other side. Let's see if I can take advantage. There we go. And look at that. That worked. Now to get some of my straightness back. Okay. You can see one little area I missed. It didn't get. That just means I need to get right along there, which is the opposite side. Do the same up here. Let's see if I can come over here this way with it. Like that. Yep, I can. Okay. So the next time, the bend will go over towards the horn, assuming that there is a next time with those coals. Might not be a next time. It doesn't reach. Let's see. How much more time do I have? Nope, I'm at the top of the hour. That's it. All right. So, if it's not obvious, swinging a hammer at that rate and really putting your whole body into it is a bit of exercise. And I need to get more of it. So, yeah, that was fun. Made a lot more progress this week than the last couple. Must mean that I'm getting better at something. And hopefully some of what I'm getting better at is creating some video that has good placement for things. Comments are welcome, by the way. If there's anything you saw that you thought could be done better, let me know. For me, it's a journey. It doesn't matter if you tell me everything's great or everything sucked. But better is if you just tell me, this is what I think could be done better. Share this with the folks you love, who you think might be interested in blacksmithing, or who already have expressed an interest in blacksmithing but don't think it's possible for them to do it, because I'm here to say it is possible. And take this away with you. Remember, it doesn't matter what you think about others. It doesn't matter what they think about you. Live your life. Let them live theirs. That's the best form of love that I can see, is loving people where they're at. And if that means you have to spend some time, loving yourself, do that too. So until next time, light and love.